Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trials of VinTear, Session 2. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mike, and joined with me are my lovely adventurers. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah,
Coffee.
we have...
We're all trying to get
Always.
caffeinated.
We have Nick.
Hello.
We have Amber.
Hey.
Titan.
Howdy!
Steve.
Coffee.
And Temple.
Hello!
I hope you all enjoyed our split Session 0 segments, as well as the continuation of our adventurers' individual stories in Session 1. But it looks like we're all coming together now. So we're going to be seeing these colorful characters joining together in this particular session. But if you're all wondering, this is a pre-recorded show, and we have things that are called toddler breaks. Our little humans doing what little kids do, which is running, talking, all that.
Yelling, screaming.
Yeah, exactly. Causing chaos. So if you see a rough cut, you have a good idea why. Now, before we begin the game, everyone roll me a d20.
Pulled out one that I didn't want to roll.
And I'm going to decide whether high or low.
Okay.
Perfect. Who got above a 10 with hands
I
raised?
haven't rolled.
Okay.
I rolled. Okay, I rolled.
What'd you get?
Wait, ask your question again.
Did anyone get above a 10? Oh, just Amber. Amber, you're doing it again.
again. I had a feeling. I was like, watch it beat my ass.
All right, I'm going to go ahead
glad
and
it's not me.
sending
I'm
you.
going to put the juju on you now.
Please don't. Because you do that. I don't want that.
No, thank you, sir.
I'm going to put some spaces because it is a little hard to read. Not because of my grammar.
Because of your grammar?
No, shut up.
Because if I read that other sentence out, I was like, what the hell does that say?
There you go.
Oh,
One day it'll be something else.
okay. Mike, do you know what you forgot in the last session's announcements?
I don't think I forgot anything, really. I think we were perfect.
Sorry, I was going to say it, and then I screwed it up. Arcane focuses best recap show ever. Short rest.
No, I think I did forget that to mention that we have short rest.
Wow.
Forgot a few other things too, but that's okay. It's my favorite recap show on the internet. It's the perfect for those who don't have 3 hours to watch the entire episode and want to get some behind the scene discussion. And it's a major staple in our last campaign. How could you?
There's a lot I do a lot, all right? You know, we have a lot of things going on in the background, and as a DM, I have to manage a lot of stuff, so it just slipped my mind.
I feel like you wrote this for Steve based on the next line.
Yeah.
Because it says, not good enough. I demand compensation.
You know,
I also say I do need a raise as like an admin support for Mike.
tell you
So
what.
technically, that would be the second thing he's got wrong on the stream thus far.
Uh-huh.
And if you folks watching at home agree, write down #blame Mike in the comments now.
Can we stop that? Fine. How about this? The next roll you make, the very first next roll you make it advantage.
Ooh, I like this.
And what's the next line?
Accepted.
Yes.
You also forgot that we technically skipped the last week of every month.
Yeah, but no one's gonna know that.
And for a while.
For a while, because everything's pre-recorded.
But I'm saying it
Well,
now.
they know that now.
They know it now.
They know it now. Well, let's do a quick recap of what happened last time on Session 1, and then we're gonna take a quick toddler break.
See.
All right. Last we left off, we experienced small glimpses in the lives of 5 very different individuals: the spry fire genasi monk, Phoenix; the alluring tiefling blood hunter, Diva; the bizarre human wizard, Ligotti; the motivated drow fighter, Arrow; and our moral compass, the half-orc tiefling, Morse. You were very moral. You just,
He was a kid, all right? What do you want me to do?
Each of their strands have been pulled to one destination, the Torn Chain, a ship belonging to Model Pier's local hero, Francis Tanner. These strands were either pulled by either the need of coin, discovery, or information. Time passes as the light of the sun finally flickers out over the horizon, giving a new illumination. The bright stars in the sky and a large waning gibbous moon and the sound of the shore can be heard. If each of you get ready to leave to Mr. Tanner's ship. Each of you have about 2 hours before you need to arrive, except for 2 of you. And we'll find out who those 2 are in a quick second. And we're back. Let's find out who those 2 who have to arrive a little earlier than the rest. Arrow. Diva. You've been asked to arrive an hour prior to departure. Before you head off to the Torn Chain, is there anything that you would like to do prior to getting to the docks?
I don't think I have anything in particular. I'm kind of excited to see the Torn Chain, so I'll head over.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm gonna pack a bag of stuff for performance. So scimitar, costume. That skull that's in the main dining area, could I take that with me?
You would not be allowed to take that. That is a 4-foot large skull, a red skull of the red maw, the actual beast that Tanner killed. Yeah, it is a staple, and I think it'd also be heavy and awkward to carry.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll gather those things, and then I'll head out the door.
Okay. You 2 arrive and see the Torn Chain from the docks area. Each of you arriving in separate times, but getting in there within the deadline. It is a larger than average, and I'm going to butcher this name. Hopefully I get it right. It's not Carnival, or Carnival. It's Carnival, perhaps. It is a type of ship with a singular mast, a red flag atop the mast that has the artistic rendering of a navy blue fish being pierced by a red spear. There are several dock workers who are out in front, simply hired to act as bouncers and to help sail off when the time comes. You 2 arrive. Arrow. First of all, the guards stop you and go, "Oh, whoa, whoa. Staff, guest."
Staff. And I'll hold out my invite.
Look at the invite. Start to check their own references, especially with the contract worker or contract work you got on the documentation. Looks it over and goes, "Right. Well, head on in."
Thank you.
Looks over to you, Diva. Staff, guest, or other?
Staff? I'm here as entertainment.
Name?
Diva.
See one of the other dock workers goes, what happened to Pepper? Did she get sick?
You mean she didn't arrive here?
Oh, no. I mean, she showed up yesterday. She was talking to the captain up on deck. Something about music and dance. Maybe? Or was it a song?
I was informed this morning that I needed to fill in for her, so you get me.
Oh. All right. Hopefully she's feeling better or something. All right, well, come on in. So grabs your paper and lets you get in. You are brought onto the top deck, where you see there are a line of 3 other individuals. Looks to be an older-looking human, a younger one, sort of older one, almost has brown. Actually, I could pull up more images before I start to make up details for myself. You see a older-looking human, bald hair, and sort of this wild mane of white, or sort of goes gray then to white. You see a younger-looking human, shock of brown and black, hair, youngest face, kind of looking around 22 years old, wearing what looks to be almost like bartender vestiges, like just sort of like a vest open front with sort of a white shirt underneath. And there is a looks to be elven in nature, however has a very strike of blue skin, black hair that sort of almost goes down into a somewhat, like almost like reminiscent of like a jellyfish's ends. So it just sort of ends with this light glow on his hair. White eyes and pointed ears. The older looking gentleman looks to you two and goes, come on in, please. Please, staff, correct?
That's right.
Well, welcome. Let's see. We're currently waiting for Mr. Tanner to arrive from below deck. So, can I have your names?
Arrow, Vinay.
Aaron, eh? All right. Write it down.
I'm like, you may call me Diva.
Diva. I think you're from the Red Mall, correct?
Yes.
Understood. Do you happen to know what happened to Pepper?
Real fast, DM, and we don't know what happened. Pepper just didn't show up, right?
From the information you've gathered so far, you know that Pepper at least showed up to the ship, but did not make it home.
Okay. I was just informed that she needed to be filled in for. So you got me. Trust me, I am the better choice, anyways.
Good to hear. You hear from below deck, and coming out, the doors open. There standing is almost red tan skin, a mutton chops that go down into his chin, or down to his chin that goes down into a small beard tied with a little bead, short hair that's pulled back slightly, and a penciled mustache that curls near the end. Bits of bruising that can be shown that's sort of healing, small cuts around his neck that was part of, like, you can only assume be a battle at sea. He comes out and goes, do you smell that? What a fine day for some merriment. David, look at you! And sort of motions towards the young human. Look at you! You look so cleaned up. Isn't that nice? Sort of David now, the young guy, goes, thank you, Mr. Tanner. Looks over to you, Arrow, Diva. Gregory, who have you brought me? You must be, and grabs your hand, Diva, brings it up, kisses the top. You must be Pepper. And immediately, Gregory, the older one, goes, couldn't show up. We're now graced with Diva. Oh. Well, the madame can certainly choose, can't they?
Hello, Mr. Tanner. Grit through my teeth. Bows.
Wonderful. And look at this, a fellow sailor. Who'd you sail with? Leans over to you, Arrow.
I just got off the ship with Captain Mary.
Never heard of him. I'm sure he was lovely.
Was?
You see the sea elf kind of give a kind of motions to you, Arrow, and goes, I knew Captain Mary. Good man. Sorry. Motions towards Tanner. Yeah, I've been around these parts, and he sails from here to, from time to time.
You also a sailor?
Navigator.
Ah. Fine work.
Gregory leans in and goes, contract worker from Amara. Tanner goes, oh, understood. Good to know. Well, let me introduce yourself. Let me actually introduce, and sort of motions towards the gruff-looking sea elf, and kind of goes, this is my navigator, Quinley. We go way back. Well, tonight is going to go splendidly, right? Gregory here is going to go over the details of the trip, so please go bother him if you have any issues. Cleans himself a little bit, and begins to walk his way down to the lower deck. Gregory pulls out a little clipboard, glasses down. Tonight's events will begin with a toast just as we sail off. We'll be about 100 yards out in sea, where food and more drink will be provided. This is a very important trip. Motions to everyone here. We'll be joined by important business owners and the wilds. And I would say that, Diva, you're the only one who have heard of the wilds. The wilds are a group of investors, brother and sister, who a lot of capital, always looking to expand businesses. So someone with money. And goes, once at rest, Miss Diva here will be asked to provide some entertainment for the guests. Do you have a performance in mind?
Do we have a bard on boat?
Looks over to David and kind of goes, I could play some music.
Hmm. You play music, I dance.
Okay, yeah, I could do that.
I can definitely handle the entertainment aspect.
Perfect, understood. Volred Quinley, the half-elven individual, goes, Arrow, was it?
Indeed.
All right. You're going to be my second eye. Understood? Keep the peace, and any time that I need help with the ship, I need you, come to my assistance.
Speaking of, might I just say, this is a lovely vessel. What is it made of?
It's been altered throughout the few years. Also wood, perhaps.
I see. Fine, I'm just incredibly curious. It's a beautiful ship, beautiful vessel.
Do you construct?
Hardly. Just an admirer, really.
I can understand that. But yes, keep the peace. Come when called. You will comply with either Captain Turner's orders or myself. Understood?
Understood.
Save. Gregory kind of goes, correct. However, when you are on ship, while you are on ship or entertainment duties, when that is no longer being asked of you, we have asked you to feel free to enjoy yourself here in the party. Conduct small talk and keep the party lively and jovial. Kind of looks around to see if anyone has any questions.
A bunch of old rich people, lively and jovial. Got it. Can do.
How many people are we expecting to be aboard this evening?
The Wilds is 2. We're expecting Ambrosia and her sister, 2 shop owners. We're also expecting the day manager, Wisa, to arrive. And we're expecting an old friend from Captain Turner. Should arrive as well.
Alright, a decent handful. That shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, some important figures. And they start to split up. And I think this might be prudent to show you guys what you're working with. So I'm going to go ahead and bring your attention to roll 20. And let's show you the torn chain.
Ooh.
Boat.
So, Arrow, I'm going to bring you down here.
Yippee!
And then, Diva, are you in roll 20? You are.
Ah, I should be.
Okay, let me get you control of this girl here. For those
Can
who
I
are
ask
here.
Arrow a question?
Oh, go for it.
Because that statement you said something said. So I go to Arrow and I'm just like, what kind of person's into wood but does not build?
It's just
Just
a hobby of sorts. It's not really anything I do professionally.
okay. What kind of hobby?
I mean, I'm a sailor, as you can imagine. It's anything revolving around ships and sailing and the like.
Mm-hmm. Looks him up and down. Interesting. Walks away.
Like,
Okay.
kind of also look myself up and down, like. Okay.
So, the torn chain, as you can see here, does have a top deck. If you were to move the camera a little bit to the right, you can see that there is a crow's nest, if anyone ever wanted to hang out there. Also, below where the wheel is, there is an internal bar area where food is being stored as well as drinks. There is a door that leads to sort of the bottom deck if you ever had to use, there's a privy down there. There also is the captain's quarters, which no one is allowed in. But this is what you're working with right now. Is there anything you'd like to do prior for this entire hour before the guests arrive?
I'm gonna be hard snooping, just like the build of the ship. Like I'm gonna be like around the railings, just like knocking on it, just like okay, just inspecting the craft. I want to see if this is like a really good vessel, like one that would fit a legend, or otherwise just kind of like a ship.
Are you proficient with the investigation checks?
Probably not. No.
Go ahead and add your proficiency bonus to this. Make me an investigation check. Add your proficiency because you are working with something within your backstory that you're proficient with.
Yeehaw.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, no, guys, it went really well.
Oh,
I swear.
That's your really well face.
I know.
8.
Oh,
8.
Okay,
Okay.
that's not terrible.
Very
terrible.
well.
very well.
8.
Yeep.
I'm switching my die. That one has failed me twice.
I think
Never again.
you look over the side, starting to go through, the edgings of the ship, checking out the mast. It looks like it's in slight disrepair. It definitely needs some, TLC. And I think you pick up. You don't get the make or what type of wood is being used. I think the balsa wood claim was probably just a guess. I think you get that down. There definitely is like patches, like patch up work has been done on the ship just to keep it nice and clean. It's aesthetically pleasing, but internally it doesn't look that well. The extent of it, you're not sure because of the roll.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're like,
Don't like wince at every little patch that I noticed. Just like, oh, that could have been smoother. No.
So you're doing that. Diva, what are you doing for this hour?
I'm trying to talk to my musician just to see what he actually can play. So, what can you play?
Yeah, you can go to David, the young sort of worker here. You ask that question. He goes, behind the bar, I have a flute. I
Okay, let's hear it.
The rendition of Three Blind Mice, Three Blind Mice just starts to come out. It's like a recorder sound. It's passable. It's definitely going to need, like, it's better than a school child.
Okay, let's see if we can at least get you into go ba ba ba.
I'll say go ahead and roll me I'll say that you're imbuing a little bit of your performance here to try to have him match you. Rolling performance check. This will be for him.
Oh, it's right there. Performance. That's gonna be a 14.
14. I think it takes you the full hour to get this guy going. It's just 3 chords, but you see, like, you're asking him to do a chord that he's not familiar with, and he keeps going. I keep hitting the one before it. And it's like it's this rough go for a full hour until finally you're like, okay, that's good enough, and he finally gets sort of the beat going and a bit of the rhythm. I think I got it, Miss Diva. I think I got it.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. You play that shirtless, and I'll have a bottle of wine, and we'll distract them, and they won't notice the music. We'll do that.
Looks down, and I think you get, without even an insight check, full like confusion. Is that a compliment?
Shame.
And it is a mixed emotion, but someone who's not going to go against someone who's a little more confident than he is. But an hour passes.
At least it wasn't glowworm.
An hour passes, and Ligotti, Phoenix, and Morse, I need you all to roll me a perception check or survival.
Oh, that's better.
I got a 22 survival.
Oh, jeez.
I'm also gonna roll survival, so we'll see.
I rolled a 24.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I didn't get
Jeez.
that great.
Just
By the
a
way-
party. Settle down.
Phoenix,
It was perception. right?
advantage.
Just make sure.
Huh?
Your first roll has
Oh
advantage.
yeah.
DM, it was a perception, right?
That's my
Perception
good.
or survival.
Okay, I rolled a perception. I have expertise in it.
Good old
Mm.
expertise.
Good
Oh,
old
was it your feet? Yeah, it's your feet you took. What'd you get, Phoenix?
18, but I did survival, not perception.
All right, not bad. Yeah, I think it more or less is Phoenix and Ligotti, since you both rolled survival. It's just you're very well known about the lay of the land. You kind of can see little context clues going through the docks, seeing that a lot of the shipment ships are over in this direction. You're like, not that way. Then it has to be this way. Probably where where personal cruise ships are, as well as personal little rowboats that you can see that are a bit smaller in size. Morris, you're looking around as well and kind of figuring it out, but you see a group of people making their way, and you're like, party people, that way. Eventually, all three of you together, because you rolled so high, are all coming together, arrive at a large ship with the word behind it, the name behind it being the Torn Chain. This is exactly where you need to be. There are two guards up in front who are just sort of lazing about, talking to one another, going, after this, I'm going to get something to eat. What about you? I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Hello, guests?
Phoenix is just nodding her head. Yes, 'cause she doesn't like talking to people just yet.
Can we have the invite, please?
I just awkwardly hand it out.
Welcome aboard.
Can I just go now?
Yes, you're free to go.
She puts her hood down and she heads in.
Strange lass. Invites, please.
Ligotti has his out, and he holds his out.
Much appreciated. Do we remember almost like confused if these were the figures supposed to go in, but you have invites, so there's really no argument. I think the larger guard kind of looks at you, Morris, and goes, armored up for a party?
Yes.
All right, I don't think you're going to be needing it, though.
Me either, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Invite, please. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy yourself on Mr. Tanner's ship.
Before I go, I want to ask them if they know Ambrosia and what dealings they have had with her.
Oh, yes.
So yeah.
That's,
You know what the fuck's up with the per her wording.
you start to talk to them. They confirm that she actually arrived a few minutes prior to you. She is actually on
okay.
the ship right now.
All right, then I turn and walk away before they finish talking.
Yeah, it's more or less like, Ambrosia, that's, Ambrosia babbled. Yes, she's actually on board. Well, okay.
Mission accomplished. All right.
All right. I will now put you guys on the ship. So we have Phoenix arrives. Ligotti. Look at that.
Here I am.
Morris.
I'm on a boat.
And as mentioned, the person who actually beat you here is Ambrosia.
Perfect.
Tanner's the guy with the shaved head?
Tanner, no, that is Gregory. That is the old,
Okay.
sort of like a bit of like an old server or helper to Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see all the names. I don't know if you guys do. I don't think so.
I don't.
Yeah, I have to figure out that setting. I don't know why it doesn't show. But you can always click on a person and I can let you know who that is. Diva, Eero, you start to see a bunch of new faces starting to come in. A few minutes prior to these groups, this group of three, Ambrosia has made herself up the gangplank and goes, "Where's Mr. Tanner?" And You see Gregory kind of go down and goes, he'll be up soon before we take off. Fine. Right. Well, then I'm going to have myself a drink. And heads herself her way inside. And at this moment, Ligotti, Phoenix, and Morris, you guys head in.
I think I'd go towards the. I'm not good with ship parts. Amber isn't, but I would go probably towards. I think the bow. Like she wants to try and get distance from people. She doesn't want to huddle.
Is the bow of the front?
Yeah.
I think so. Sure. Place yourself where you think
Us
you'd be.
Titan.
Don't. I'm not ready. I'm still studying.
Go ahead and place yourself where you would think to
Okay.
be on the ship. And let me know if you can't move your token.
Not too close, but at least somewhat over there. She don't want to fall off.
Is there a way I can actually go downstairs to like change or something?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be on top. So
There's the privy. If you wanted to go down there, you can just quickly change in private.
I'm gonna go do that before I come back up for, I guess, the toast.
Okay. Yeah. We'll say that you are downstairs for now. And when you start to hear commotion, I think that will be a trigger for Diva to go, oh, I need to go outside. Show off my outfit. Let's go in order from left to right. Phoenix, you were hanging out by the bow. Are you just sort of keeping distance right now?
Yeah, I mean, she's seen the picture of Francis Tanner that Wisa pointed out, right? So she knows what he looks like
Exactly.
briefly. I think she's just twiddling one of the many doodads she has in her purse or her bag and between her fingers and looking out because she does not do well with parties. She never has never been invited to a party. So she's just kind of keeping distance until she clocks Tanner.
A little wooden fidget.
Yeah. It's probably one that looks like a butterfly, but it's not a butterfly, but that's probably what she's twiddling in her hands.
Got it. While Phoenix is hanging out near the bow of the ship, Arrow, you still looking around the make and model, or is there anything catching your eye?
I think after I get a solid not understanding of the ship, I will instead turn my gaze out toward the water and see if I can catch a glimpse of what I saw yesterday.
You haven't departed just yet, so this map isn't 100% accurate. You would still be docked right now, but you could definitely look out into the sea and see if you can catch anything like that. Roll me a perception check.
Oh joy. What time of day is it? Perhaps.
What time
Has
of
the
day?
sun maybe set?
The sun has set.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's an evening party.
Okay, it doesn't help me much. It's a 12.
You're 12. I think you look off into the distance, and there are a couple of storm clouds way in the in the horizon. I think through your own experience, you don't think you're going to be hit with a storm, which is nice. And if there is going to be sort of any kind of elemental problem, it's going to just be light drizzle or rain. Yeah, I don't think you see this, especially having the mindset of this may ruin a party. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, but you look out into the water and you don't see anything in the waves that would cause concern.
Okay. Other than that, I want to head over to Quinley.
Quinley, yes.
Perhaps?
Quinley, right now, I'll say you start to head your way to Quinley. Right now, Morris, we're going to jump to you for a quick second, mainly because you decided to put yourself next to Quinley. Is there a particular reason for that, or are you just hanging out near the steering wheel of the ship?
Yes, there is a reason for that. The reason for that is that I am not, in fact, next to Quinley, but I am actually in the bar area, trying to be very inconspicuous.
You're in the
and
bar area, so
hidden.
that you'd be down here.
Yes.
Okay.
There.
Then we're going to put you on pause. I thought there was a reason for it.
Sorry.
Arrow, you go to Quinley, who's currently just looking at the steering wheel and just sort of keeping everything. He's the acting captain right now because of Captain Turner's underneath in the lower decks.
Quinley, right?
Yes, Quinley. Volred Quinley. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Yes.
Pleasure. I was curious. You said you're familiar with Captain Mary and his swords.
Yes. Collaborated, I suppose, would be a good word for it, in the past. Prior to meeting Captain Turner.
I meant to ask what got you interested in working with Tanner.
we actually were old friends. We grew up here in Model Pier. I decided to go my own way in the medium. Worked with numerous captains. Captain Mary just being one of them. Decided, feeling homesick, found out that, Francis had his own ship and was going after big game, and I figured I can lend my aid.
You weren't perhaps on the ship when he killed the Red Maw, were you?
I was. It was
Really?
It was a few of us.
If it's not too, perhaps forward of me, I'd love to hear your side of it.
So happy you asked. I wrote it down. There was 3 of us actually on the older version of the Torn Chain. It was Tanner, myself, and a close friend of mine. We struggled for a few weeks out in sea, hearing of the infamous Red Maw. For a while, what was occurring was that this beast was grabbing fishermen and working folk and sailor out of the sea, destroying boats and ships. So Tanner took it upon himself to locate the beast. It was a collective effort. We put in a lot of effort. You see him sort of almost give a 1,000-yard stare. It was hard. But both Tanner and myself were the ones who walked away. My friend, unfortunately, did not.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, well, Tanner certainly found a great springboard for attention and fame.
Odd that I haven't heard your name.
Yeah, odd, isn't it? But he was the charismatic one. He chased it.
Oh. I see.
It's tough at seas. Being a sailor yourself, I can only assume you know what that means.
I do, unfortunately. Well.
Well.
I should hope in the future your name is recognized as Tanner's. As well as your friend. After
Thank
all,
you.
what is a ship without a navigator?
And I think what happens here is that he kind of pauses a little bit, acknowledges it, and then almost brings the conversation to you. But some small talk, nothing too crazy. More or less of, what is your experience? How long were you at sea? Small talk. Ligotti and Morris, you two are here in sort of this internal bar where David, the younger serviceman here, is going, I'm about to provide drinks to everyone here, but if you'd like something right away, I can provide.
I'm most interested in talking to Ambrosia, so I'll wait and take her lead. Whatever she gets, I'll get the same thing.
I'll have a cup of your finest ale, please.
I can do. Starts to pour something for you, Morris, and Ambrosia kind of gives you an eye, Ligotti, kind of leaning against the counter. I have a glass of wine. I suppose you're going to have the same.
That sounds good.
Some ale for you, Morris. Slides over, no cost. Same thing with the wine. Ambrosia sort of grabs it. Kind of looks at you, Morris, first. Well, you certainly have my name on your tongue, sir. But I don't think... and for full discussion, you actually have not met Ambrosia yet. It's just been a lot of discussion with her sister. but I think she does look to you and goes, "You seems like you know me."
Yeah, I think I tell her about my dealings with her sister and her shop, and I basically say that Izzy sent me. And I like look around because this isn't a private place to talk, and I say, Izzy sent me and had some concerns that we should discuss.
Oh, I did. I'm quite scared actually to ask. Are you friends with my sister?
Business acquaintances. She is not the friendliest of types, or maybe it's me. While he's talking, he's holding. What is the glass made of? The glass of wine.
It is sort of this treated wood with sort of everything is put into like these mugs, even the wine. There isn't really glass here on the ship due to easy breakage.
So as he's talking, part of him is working on minor alchemy and slowly turning the glass to stone as he's talking. So he's like rubbing it with his fingers, and little bits of it is turning stone.
So cool. I think she catches that a little bit. Huh. Well, that's interesting. But, yes. No, I don't think it's you. My sister is not really much of a people person. But sometimes you have to ask who you have for help. So unfortunately, she is manning the shop while I'm away. Tell you what, after the toast, we can find a place and we can have a discussion.
I think Ligotti nods and he says, we should do that. But he won't press it now. We can wait till after the toast.
Perfect. David looks to you, Morris, and goes, "Is everything to your liking, sir?"
Oh, this will do just fine, thank you.
If you don't mind me asking, you're looking like you're ready to are you like a knight? You're armored up, sir.
You know, just for my safety. You can never be too sure nowadays.
Oh, I've seen a lot of danger in your life.
No, there's plenty of bad people out there. You always got to be ready to go, you know?
That be true. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if anyone has any final requests, please make them now. I'm about to get everyone ready for a toast. Excellent. Finishes everyone's drinks. You're all given a bit of champagne and glasses. And sort of David goes, "All right, everyone outside." Goes towards sort of the privy, knocks on the door. "Miss Diva, are you in there?"
Yes.
We're about to give the toast if you wanted to join us.
Coming.
You are all brought to the middle. Or at least you start to conjugate your way there. I'm assuming Diva the last one to come.
Mm-hmm. Or I'll follow David and like help him with the handing out the drinks.
Wonderful. A minute later goes by, and Tanner walks out from his quarters, grabs a glass of his own, motions to you all. There is a slight clap coming in. Oh, no, actually, before you take off, two other figures show up. I forgot. I think late to the party. This makes sense, too, considering their status. Not having a moment to talk to much people, but coming in late, is the Wilds. A dapper-looking man, brown hair, glasses tinted in a way, looking almost standoffish, as well as his sister. You can see definitely the similarities between the faces. Both of them looking kind of like judgmental at everyone's eye. Like, just, even if you were to say hello to them, they kind of just give you a look and go, and just not interested in talking to anyone. I'll say they go over here. Francis comes out. Once again, glass in hand. There's a small clap. He goes, "Thank you, esteemed guests." Let's see. He goes, Yes. Thank you, one and all. It is lovely to see you here. Everyone raises a glass, and he goes, "To the kingdom, to King Outslock, and to me, your lovely host." Takes a drink. Glasses are clinked together, and the ship starts to get some movement. There is a small chatter happening to everyone here. Francis goes, "Off we sail into open blue, where I've discovered my true calling. Being a hero to those wonderful, wonderful sailors. Working hands just like me. We can all be heroes if you just put your mind to it." You hear from some people in the back, "Here, here. Enjoy yourself. Drink is had. Food will be prepared in just a moment. And feel free to make a friend." And everyone starts to separate slightly. I have this set in roleplay phases, so you'll have chances to talk to people, but things will change as time goes on. You are seeing the clouds move past you, the waves moving the ship back and forth. It is kind of a clear night right now. You can still see the stars and moons, or the moon, piercing through little bits of the cloud here. David goes back to, because you're not at the resting point at the 100-foot distance just yet, but David goes back to the bar room. Volreg will go to the here with Gregory. Francis right now will enjoy his time at the bow along with the wilds. Ambrosia is going to look over the side of the ship here. And I will ask you guys, where would you like to go? Or who would you like to talk to? It could either be with an NPC or each other.
Well, I'm just following Ambrosia because we got to talk.
Perfect.
I think Phoenix is trying to find a place to dump her drink because she does not drink.
Easy enough done. You can dump it anywhere. You're on the open ocean.
She's just trying to clock when Tanner's by himself because she definitely does not feel comfortable going up to him with the wilds present based on their interaction.
Okay. And then for Diva, this is something very interesting and something I should have asked. You're changing. What is your new outfit looking like?
So Diva comes out in a crushed halter dress, crushed velvet black halter dress that's like all the way to the ground with a high slit. Also, though, she is carrying a sword. Nobody knows why, but she's carrying a sword.
Just blatantly out. Just almost a bit of excitement.
In case.
So, Phoenix,
my scimitar, that was just, when I say sword, it's just like, I'm just holding it. I'm just there with my wine.
Phoenix, I'll say that you're over here. You dump out your glass, but you're keeping an eye out on Francis.
She's not trying to make it like call attention that she's dumping out said glass, but she is.
And where does Diva, Arrow, and Morse going to?
Just because it's funny, can I just see if I saw Phoenix dump their drink?
Roll a perception check. And then Phoenix, I will allow you to make a sleight of hand.
Okay. That's an 18.
Ooh.
Better roll high.
Very good.
Okay, that's not bad. Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand.
That's my sleight of hand. 19.
Damn it.
16 plus 3.
Just what, I think you don't catch the dumping of the drink. I think you do clock this fiery-haired individual. Do go to the side of the ship. Looks like they're drinking, finishes their drink.
Looks like she magically finished her drink.
But they are alone. You know, this female form is alone. If that is still interesting.
Talk to the fiery person.
Oh no.
Okay. We're gonna get into your roleplay in just a moment, but Arrow, where are you going?
I think I'm gonna start just making rounds around the ship. I'm also not gonna be drinking despite my want to, just because I'm on duty presently. But I want to clock like all of the people on board this ship and start to take note of like their little quirks. Like, oh, the fiery one hasn't spoken to a single soul upon arrival, or this other guy is wearing armor, but I don't think he's staff. Just like little things, like I was told there was going to be business people here, and I'm not seeing a lot of that. So
That's
just like
very
making mental note.
Everybody
Yeah.
gave away their invites. So
There, that's a really funny thing is that you were told that there would be like business people, and this definitely is not.
Yeah, it doesn't quite feel right, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. I just want to make sure I know where everyone is at most
see.
times.
You're like right here keeping an eye out on everyone. And then Morse. Actually, I think I'll put you
Well,
here.
I'd like to double check if that woman with the fiery hair was the same one that I saw the day prior.
Perfect. I'll have you go right after Diva, so you're going to stand right here.
I also want to be very inconspicuous. I don't want to stand out in any way, despite the fact that I'm in
you're
like
red
heavy armor.
and
yeah.
armor.
Mhm.
Diva, you see this fire genasi woman just sort of leaning against the edge of the ship.
Do I clock
Finish-
her ahead of time?
Finish her drink. I mean, she's not stealthy. You know, none of you guys are currently. There's no point to be stealthy in this small space. But yeah, you clock each other's attention.
Normally, I would say I am the hottest thing in this room, but that hair, how do I compete?
I think she gives you a whole 5-second stare before she answers you, and it's the longest 5 seconds of your life.
It's like, I think. Roll me an insight check real quick, Diva.
I was gonna say 10, but 10 seems too long.
Insight. +1, 15.
15. I'll ask this for you, Phoenix, so what you want to share. Is this less of you judgmental, like being like, do I want to talk to you? Or is this like social awkwardness trying to go away? You're kind of...
Phoenix is clocking if you're trying to be what your motive is by coming up to her, because she's not used to having people come up to her, so she's trying to like gauge what your intention is, not so much judging.
Then I guess with your insight, you get a person who's very careful, who maybe isn't as charismatic as you are, and because of that has to be careful in how they respond, and goes, and then says, obviously, what do you say after that 5 second?
I
I'd
think
be
she
like,
goes,
"Oh."
and then she goes, hi.
And be like, I'm just like, so fiery yet so icy. Ooh.
I think she thinks about that one a little bit too hard. She continues, I don't do well in this. She circles to the ship.
You don't do well on water? Oh, sweetie, are you seasick?
Oh no, I do fine in water. I don't do well in groups of people. That's my problem.
But weren't you in my bar this morning?
And she thinks about it for a second. Oh, it's called the Red Maw?
Mhm.
The Red Maw?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a favor for August from Low and Sons.
Interesting. What kind of favor?
I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I was taking meat over there. I had to do a delivery. It's the arrangement we have. I lift the heavy things and he lets me stay there for free.
Ooh, you sound like the type of customer you like to have.
I think she does not clock what that means. So she just gives you like a confused face. I don't know how to take that, but okay.
You don't like companion? Well, actually, no. Based off this conversation, you don't like companionness.
It's not that I don't like it. I'm just not really great in that arena. At all.
Noticing the empty glass. Well, most people who have that problem will drink more of that. May I get you another?
Sure. And that is only Phoenix saying sure because she wants her to go away. So she could get the drink.
How rude.
No, not
No.
rude. Just because she's like, I don't know how to talk to you.
I think we'll keep your role insight. I think you are very proficient, Diva, in a bit of tease and definitely getting people flustered. And I think you feel fairly proud that you can get someone with this sort of fiery aura flustered.
As she ushers me away.
She's like, sure.
We'll say that we'll switch moments here as Phoenix is getting sort of the attention. Morris, you can definitely walk up and
Oh god.
make yourself known.
I forgot I wasn't done yet.
Oh no, I'm not gonna walk and make myself known. I'm just gonna watch from a distance.
Oh,
Trying to see, like, I don't really run into people whose hair is on fire, so I mean, we're on a wooden boat. Isn't that like a safety hazard?
Not unless I
don't
choose
know.
it to be.
You don't know how this works. You
I
can
don't
definitely
know how it works.
you can ask
Just
the
watch
woman
it.
how if that is a concern.
I like how nobody's come up to her about like, hey, you're made out of fire on a wooden boat. Is that a problem?
I thought about it, but then I realized I have more pressing matters. So I'm gonna wait on Francis to see if there's an open moment I can speak to him.
Wonderful. Ligotti, Ambrosia sort of leans against the side of the ship, and as you immediately join her, she kind of slides a little bit, giving you some space as well. Takes a drink. I didn't get your name.
My name is Ligotti, and Ligotti stays slightly back from the railing because he doesn't like the ocean. So he's far enough, like close enough to talk to her, but not if the ship were to lurch, he would not fall over the edge of the ship. That's how far back he is.
I guess the scene we have it is her back is to the edge, and you
Yeah.
are in front of her, more inward of the ship.
Yeah, I think her back being to the edge is like making him nervous, like that she could pitch over at any time, but
Don't stand so
not
close.
saying anything. Yeah.
She kind of hums a little bit and goes, Well, if you're a business associate of my sister's, what was so important that you needed to talk to me?
I think Ligotti tells the story just matter of factly. It says, we've been awaiting your return. I've gotten to know your sister a little bit, and the other day I saw her in an alleyway being accosted by a man in a cloak. He was looking for you, apparently. Said things like, "We don't like waiting. Better hope Ambrosia returns soon." And I arranged for him to be struck in the head very forcefully to solve the problem. And after talking to your sister, she recommended I come here to see what all that was about, because seems like it might be trouble. And also, I just want to get back to normal business, trading and exchanging goods with you.
Do you also deal in antiquities?
Says, yes, I'm. You could call me a wanderer, and I enjoy ruined places, and I bring back things of interest to sell and fuel future travels.
Interesting. Well, to your concern about this cloaked individual, I don't know of anyone in particular who would be looking for me. Part of my job on how I get more antiques and undiscovered artifacts is actually going on expeditions myself. For instance, recently I just came back from the Glass Leech Desert. Took me a few weeks. Probably that's why you've missed me. But you do step on some toes when it comes to these expeditions. Other explorers who are looking to get the first grab. And unfortunately, they just don't carry the information that I do. Waiting for me. Could be a number of things. Either someone I angered in the past, or there is this like business guild that is asking me to join. They're a bit forceful, but they just need to keep their pants on. But I appreciate that. I'll keep an ear out in case I hear anything else. So I appreciate the heads up. But I'm more curious about your own interest in antiquities and ruins. Let me ask you something. Have you heard of Kortok, the unnerved man?
I don't believe I have.
Oh, and she starts to explain. She's almost excitedly finding someone who else shares her own interest in like ancient ruins and civilizations of a figure named Kortok, the unnerved man who was an important figure in the Arcane civilization, which was an old civilization that lived in the desert that was wiped out centuries ago, and they're just undiscovering it now. It was one of the first discoveries that she's made, and she's currently slowly opening it up as much as she can. There's still more to find. She kind of she's like almost like there's more to find. This is the first thing we were able to excavate out safely.
Which civilization was that again?
Arcano.
Arcano, okay. Is Arcano something that Ligotti would have heard about, or is that new as well?
I think roll me a history check. There may be one way you may have heard this.
All right. That's only a 9 with history.
9. Yeah, I think this is fairly new. This is new information. I think maybe that excites you a little bit more. You're just like, oh, yeah, that's something I never heard about.
Yeah, I think Ligotti is listening very closely. He has the remaining champagne in one hand and the now fully stone wine glass in the other. And as he's listening, he's pouring small amounts of one into the other and sipping and like tasting how it tastes a little different, and then pouring it back in the other one. Just making his own mix and match drink as he's listening. But yeah, he's gonna ask all the questions about the unnerved man and the civilization.
She explains to you what she's learned so far. There's still much more to learn, but essentially, the unnerved man was almost like a captain of the guard within this civilization. That's as much as she kind of gathered in terms of his stature, which was someone of importance who was looking after the safety of the people here in the Arcano civilization. There was some writings and like hieroglyphics that would describe the unnerved man because he would feel no pain. So it was almost like a myth, a legend, kind of like what we would say, like, oh, that guy, he got shot, he got right back up. It's like almost like there was stories being told. So it's not like one-to-one, but you do get this nice little tale of this guard-like figure who would watch over the civilization, who had no nerves, like no pain receptors, could feel nothing, and was there just to attack.
Fascinating. That's quite a find, quite a discovery. It raises so many questions about the rest of the civilization, how he might have gotten that way. And we have much to discuss.
I think we do. This will be a very interesting party. I'm glad to make your acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to phase 2. Tanner will find himself free. Will take over. Actually, he's gonna find himself free. He's gonna go to the bar. So I'm gonna move the NPCs, and then you guys can follow or pursue how you wish. Volred has gone into the back and has brought out a couple of barrels and is currently messing with them on the side. David currently is still there. Gregory has sort of watched over the helm right now. The twins are staying here. And unless, Ligotti, you wanted to switch where you wanted to go, I think you're the only one who has sort of a good grasp on someone. Ambrosio is just going to continue talking to you, unless you have someone else you wanted to meet.
No, I've done my job at the party tonight. So until something changes, or until like if she wants to talk to someone else, Ligotti's not so oblivious that he wouldn't notice that. But right now, they can just talk history and ancient civilizations and stuff.
Okay. She's not yet. She's like, I found someone. This is great. I think for maybe this next round, she'll feel comfortable just talking to you. So we'll go left from right. Morris, you wanted to talk to Tanner, correct? And then I think, Phoenix, you also wanted to talk to Tanner. So
She clocks him leaving. She's going to go beeline.
we'll see. Unless you wanted to wait for him to be alone, both of you can rush.
She'll chill at the bar. It's okay. Like, she'll just grit her teeth a little bit, but it'll be all right.
All right. We'll say, Morris, you find your opportunity. Don't worry. There will be more opportunities. But
I assume that at some point after I'm done talking to Tanner, I'm going to see her and I'm going to try to talk to her as well.
Okay. We can say that is we'll say you're right here, Phoenix.
Okay. I'm waiting. Like, I know that, like, he's going in there probably to talk, but that's even closer quarters. So I think she likes that idea.
Diva, where would you like to go?
So I wanted to go talk to Tanner, but I'm gonna scrap that. And go talk to the Wilds instead. Can I say I went to the bar to grab them drinks to like offer them drinks when I go talk to them?
Can do.
Okay.
Arrow, unfortunately, you don't have a choice.
Oh,
Volred actually calls you over and goes, Arrow, come help me out here.
of course.
So
I'll go over.
We'll go left to right. Diva, you grab a few drinks, head over to the wilds, and they're talking to one another. Yes, well, I suppose we can put one in the capital. So the sister kind of mentions, it's too close, brother. Why don't we put, trade has opened. Maybe we can try somewhere within the Unity.
I just walk over and be like, great night to you both.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. The sister slaps the brother a little bit, who's kind of like ogling you a little bit. Yes. Hello. Pleasure to see you. Where's my menace? Terrence Wild, my sister. Paula Wild.
I put both my hands to both. It's like, you may call me Diva.
The sister shakes your hand while the brother kisses it.
One more time on the names, Mike. I dropped my pin.
Oh, Terrence and Paula.
Terrence Paul. Real fast, what do I know about them? I know of them, but how much do I actually know?
Very rich. You can definitely tell by the clothing that they're wearing. Very well dressed. They own, kind of like, they own several bars here in Model Pier, as well as several in the capital. So it almost looks like a lot of their ventures have to deal with entertainment, inns and taverns. A lot of it is that they put investments, they put capital, and they get, obviously, money from that. It's all investments. They actually, I think you would know this because you work at the place. Before the Red Maw, and I think you may have heard talks about this from other, like from Wisa and other people, but before the Red Maw became the Red Maw, it was a tavern on its own called The Corner, with a lowercase c and a big uppercase O. The Corner. The Wilds worked with Mr. Tanner to get some capital. They bought out The Corner and changed it into the Red Maw.
Okay, so it's like after those introductions, it's just, I would actually casually mention, it's like, I have the honor of working at one of your establishments.
Oh, which one?
The Red Maw?
Oh, yes. I should have guessed, considering that you're here at the party with Mr. Tanner. Yes, a very lucrative deal with Mr. Tanner, and I honestly think his ask. You see the sister go, yes, well, it might be time for an expansion. Maybe a second Red Maw somewhere else.
Where? Do tell.
Well, we were thinking of the capital, but considering the fact that it is a sort of a shore-based, like an ocean-based inn, perhaps somewhere else where there is a shoreline.
I'm not sure if I can help with that, but I could probably offer some physical entertainment. You need more dancers, more music. You need liveliness in these establishments. A lot of them are so dreary.
You see the sister kind of nod, almost in agreement, go, yes. Do you have experience managing personnel?
Managing personnel? Huh.
Or
I
are you
don't know if I
looking to move from this area to the next?
I'm not sure where life is going to take me just yet.
Hmm.
But if something comes up and there's offers pretty, I might consider it.
Well, if that's the case, would certainly love the fact that we know your name now, Diva. That if the proposition ever comes up, and perhaps we could make a Red Maw in Helenate, considering that's a shoreline village. Yeah. We can definitely hire you on as maybe a senior entertainer.
Yeah, I will definitely keep my name on your nose. I probably should be getting ready soon for my own performance. You will get a sample tonight.
Well, that certainly will help our decision then.
I bow and I take my leave.
Wonderful. You get maybe an opportunity if all else fails. More money. Volred and Arrow, you are helping Volred, who sort of hands you a barrel. Pop opens the top, and it is this foul-smelling mush. He goes, over the side. Starts to dump this, like, chum.
Are you hoping to attract sharks?
No, but we can't have this here. It's starting to smell out the privy, and was informed that since the wilds have a sensitive nose, figured it might be best to just dump this out.
Is that his real intention?
Roll me an insight check. What was that?
I have a metal die.
Felt like you dropped a rock.
Yeah, it did.
I gotta. That's a 13.
13. Yeah, you start to open this up, and you kind of already know what the ideal situation is here. I think you catch less on his intentions and more on his facial, sort of kind of like how he's presenting himself to you. A lot like Phoenix, so you sort of notice this fiery-haired woman kind of keep her distance from most people. So is he.
We're friends.
And might be having a moment of, I don't like this be put in the sort of party position where social ineptitude has to be, brought out. And is maybe making a rash decision and just sort of dumping what he can out of sight, out of mind.
Well, I understand that entirely. Perhaps we could find something else to do with this?
What do you suggest?
Frankly, I had no other ideas. He'll start, looking around the ship can we store this anywhere?
Crow's Nest?
I don't see anyone up there.
All right. I'm gonna head up there, bring a rope, you tie things up, and I'll bring it up there.
Sounds good.
Okay, you start to work together.
Me and Nick are like, that's a bad idea.
Bad place.
It's gonna be like
I'm just like, if no one's gonna see them, just take that up there.
No! What do you mean? It can only go well.
Perfect. You start to help out. That's a good suggestion, though, is to, let's not do, you caught on a little bit of, that's not the best thing to do. And you see this guy's kind of flustered.
Yeah, I'm more trying to help him out. At least Arrow is less thinking of long-term repercussions, because I have to remember his wisdom score.
Right. Ligotti, I don't really have anything. You're still talking about sort of this Arcano civilization. I think the most amount you get from Ambrosia, who's still talking about this newly discovered space, is that it is kind of northwards of the Glassleech Desert. Can't give you really exact points. Almost like trade secret. I got to keep it underneath the vest as well. But I can tell you as much as I can. And essentially tells you things are still being undiscovered. It was when the tidal wave hit way back when VinTear was still very young. It was washed away, which is why it was buried. And so, yeah, I think that's sort of the discussion you're getting. Unless there's any other questions you would like to ask her.
Just one question, because I have a note in my backstory stuff about the Dream Hunter civilization that may or may not have existed in the Glassleech Desert. And I'm interested if these are the same civilization or if she knows anything about that.
She actually kind of raises an eyebrow and go, well, now where have you heard that name?
I think I say, well, I'm allowed to have my own trade secrets unless we want to exchange.
Fair, very fair. No, not associated with the Dream Hunters. Yes, that is a little bit more well-known, especially within the Unity. Yeah, and she starts to explain to you that the Dream Hunters were definitely these a group of, it was an old civilization that also lived within the, there was perhaps borders within the Glassleech Desert. So it was separate from the Arcano, but they, from what records have shown, what people have sort of undiscovered is that it used to be a civilization of like diviners, people who would tell the future, prophecy makers, and a lot of them would say like, we saw the future in our dreams, and that's kind of what you get from it.
Okay, I think because Ligotti has the ability to accurately recall anything he's seen or heard in the past month, he's not making notes of this now, but his normal practice is when he's resting at the end of the day, he writes down stuff in a book.
I hate that you took that feat. God damn it!
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's great when you can turn around and you say, "DM, can you tell me it again?" I'm like,
was that more than a month ago? Because I remember you got to say it exactly the same. No, that's all right. That's good for me.
All right, Morris, you finally have a moment with Tanner, who grabs a glass and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, look at this! Man, you can be a sailor yourself. Welcome. I don't know your name. Do I?
Greetings, Mr. Tanner. I'm not sure you would. You might know my associate's name, however. But before we get into all that, I must say, this is quite a lavish ship. I mean, I'm honored to be in the presence of the one who slayed the Red Maw.
Thank you, my boy. Certainly good with flattery. That'll get you everywhere.
Oh, not flattery, just sheer awesomeness that I behold in my presence. It's amazing. And I mean, it's obviously, not so far-fetched to say that, with such tales of bravery and heroism, oftentimes lies something far more evil. There are definitely people out there not looking out for each other's best interest. So it's always a good idea to have the best legal representation money can buy. And I kind of give him a wink. Perhaps you may be associated with, or perhaps know my acquaintance, say, Mr. Haynes?
And he puts down the drink, both hands on your shoulders, broad as they are, and goes, you're friends with Joshua.
Indeed.
It's been quite a few years since I've seen Mr. Haynes. Oh, yes. Lovely chap. Helped me out when I was in a bind. I'm surprised that he didn't show up. I did send him the invite. Oh, he said to you.
Well, Mr. Tanner, you've certainly done very well for yourself in the time since the pickle you found yourself in. And
well, don't like to brag, and clearly is bragging as he motions towards the ship.
Yeah, and it's impressive, and we're very happy to hear that you've done well for yourself. Very, very, very much so. But sometimes, it's good to thank the people that have helped you.
Well, yeah, not a bad thought. And without even rolling an insight check, you get an idea that this guy's not really clocking in what you're saying. Definitely not as insightful as probably other people you ran across, and is just going, well, yeah, you should thank people who help you.
I'm gonna look around to see if anybody's within earshot.
I'll say you find a moment where David, the bartender here, sort of goes, I need to get more meat from the back. Is that okay, Mr. Turner? And Mr. Turner goes, yes, of course. You may leave.
I'll look over my shoulders, just make sure nobody's there, and then I believe, Mr. Tanner, you may owe Mr. Haynes a favor.
He kind of puts both elbows onto the bar, not looking at you now, just looking straight as he hears the words, and he goes, well, certainly wouldn't be here without him, so maybe a proper thanks is needed. But why does that bring you into the equation?
Well, you see, Mr. Haynes' prerogative was to have you award that favor to me. Consider it a thanks for the legal representation, and of course this splendor of wealth you've inherited in the time thus far.
Roll me a persuasion or intimidation check. Yeah. I have a DC in mind.
I'm gonna roll an intimidation check.
Okay.
That is going to be 19.
He puts down the drink that he takes a sip from, and it misses the counter a little bit off center and drips over. Certainly, Mr. What's your name?
You may address me as Morse.
Mr. Morse. Well, if Mr. Haynes feels that it is best to have his thanks given to you, then who am I to argue?
Ah, splendid. Splendid. And of course, Mr. Haynes is himself a generous man, so you won't be out too much, just enough to get myself to the capital.
Understood. He
Splendid.
makes himself downstairs, and not but a moment too soon, you can hear a bit of rummaging, things being moved, crates being slid over. The door opens. He steps out and just slides, not like aggressively or anything, just sort of pushes it in your direction. A bag of 400 gold.
Again, I continue looking around to make sure that nobody sees. Once I see that the coast is clear, I'm gonna take the coin purse into my person.
Well, I'll say this large bag that you can equate to 400, that you hold it up and it's heavy, man.
I am in full armor for a reason. Splendid. Thank you very much, Mr. Tanner. And if nothing else, I'd hate to be a burden at your party, so I'm gonna go ahead and, make my presence disappear, if you will. Please enjoy the rest of the evening, and of course, thank you very much once again for being the hero.
Of course.
And I make my way out.
All right. Make your way out. As you head out, you immediately see a fiery figure.
Twiddly. She's patient. She's not good at conversation.
Do I get the feeling that she was kind of watching what was going on?
I think you almost like someone who's waiting for the bathroom. She was just waiting outside, probably out of earshot, and just waiting for you to leave.
I lock eyes with her and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell her, I've seen you before somewhere.
I think she does that heavy sigh. I've been told that already this evening. No, I'm doing a bad job, I guess, of being unseen.
Well, I mean, you kind of stand out.
Not normally.
I mean, I saw you from a mile away. Morse.
Phoenix.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Phoenix. Oh, I won't take up too much of your time, but I just have to ask you one question.
Sure.
I'm gonna point at her hair, like, is it really safe here on a wooden ship?
It doesn't burn you unless I choose to. So normally it's just fine.
You're not temperamental, I hope.
I'm normally calm most times, except for when there's large groups of people that like to keep asking me questions. I'm not good about that part.
Yes, I do apologize. Maybe that was a bit forward of me. Well, regardless, I shall leave you alone, but I can only imagine having such an asset can be a pain at times. I mean, maybe things catch a blaze that weren't intended to catch a blaze, if you catch my drift.
Haven't lit anything on fire that wasn't supposed to be.
Well, I mean, I can only speak for myself here, but I would still think very much that you'd want to have some form of peace of mind walking around with such a beautiful and spectacularly dazzling array of hair.
I think she puts her hood up just to show you that nothing catches fire and then slowly takes it off.
Fascinating indeed. You're just full of surprises, aren't you?
What does she see when she sees Moors? Like, how heavily armored are you?
Pretend I'm going to combat. I have full chainmail, I have a shield, and I have literally a warhammer on my back, and I have a mace on my side. I'm
Battle
loaded.
ready. Yeah.
I'm battle ready.
I think this is an easier point of conversation. Do you spar? Like, this is what... Like, for fun. Or training,
Huh.
whatever.
I mean, I do train, I suppose, yes.
Do you ever look for a sparring partner? I'm currently missing one at the moment.
Are you propositioning me right now?
I think she turns, like, her flush red. No, I literally need a trainer to...
No, yeah,
Hit
yeah. 'Cause I'm
things.
not gonna say no, but I'm just, that someone's never been quite so forward with me. Usually, I'm the one that asks, but fascinating. Sure.
Well, I've been hitting literally meat in a basement for the last few weeks, and that's getting real droll. And I need to do something else other than run the whole freaking pier at 4 a.m.
You have meat in a basement.
Oh, I work at
that
Low
you're-
and Sons.
Hey, do I know where that is?
You've been here for not too long. I don't think you know where Low and Sons is.
He's a local butcher, so yes, he has meat in the basement. It's pretty normal.
And that's meat that people purchase for consumption.
Yeah, he lets
That
me
to me,
tenderize
you're-
it.
Ah,
with hits.
of course. Why did I not think of this before? My apologies. Well, I think that would be quite divine, really. Certainly I would imagine you would prefer an actual sparring partner versus a hanging sack of meat, I guess. Sure. Anywho,
Yeah. Connections are
as
made.
I mentioned before, have you ever thought about having a good legal defense on hand for that hair of yours? I actually pull out a card. I'm like, I know a fella, best defense lawyer in the city. You may not need it now, but you never know what the future holds. And it's always a good idea to have peace of mind.
Does he do anything with wills?
Oh, he does a lot of things.
I think she thinks about Obi a little bit, and then she puts it in her pocket.
Well, may we cross paths very soon.
Well, I'm generally there if you don't see me running. I don't know if you're a morning person.
I'll just look for the blazing ball of hairy fire. Don't worry. It's gonna be hard not to miss you.
Same.
All right.
What's that?
We'll move.
Stark red.
Yeah, we'll move on to the phase 3. Tanner is going to find his way back up here, and I will say, Diva, you have a moment if you wanted to talk to Mr. Tanner,
Sure.
or if there was a player you wanted to hit up or chat
I will
with.
be right back. Toddler needs to wake up.
Oh, okay. We
We
could probably
take a break.
we could take a
or-
toddler break real quick because this would be perfect for like any bio breaks that we want to take, or water. So, be back in just a second, and we're back. I've moved a few NPCs around as where they're going around, but important question, Diva, where are you going for phase 3?
I wanted to go talk to Mr. Tanner.
Perfect. You're gonna go to Tanner. Arrow, where would you? Because again, when you're not being asked to handle ship duties or tend with whatever Volred has to do, just keep things lively. Is there anything someone you would talk to or someone you would aim for?
Ooh, if I'm not actively helping Volrad, I kind of want to go check out Moors. I want to go have a chat with him,
All right.
wherever he might be.
Morris, where would you find yourself on the ship?
Well, immediately after my exchange with Fire Hair Lady, I say that with
Phoenix.
love.
Whom you got a name?
No, I know. I say that with love.
Okay.
Immediately after my conversation with Phoenix, I would probably hunt down the twins.
They walk just past you into the bar room, but I'll say that Arrow has sort of intercepted you just for a quick moment, unsure of where you were headed. Phoenix, where would you go?
I think she's still waiting it out for Tanner. She's not gonna go in there, especially with Diva after she's like, "Oh, I told her to bring me a drink and I don't actually want it."
Once again, Phoenix is stalking.
Is Volred still up in the crow's nest?
Volred is up in the crow's nest.
I don't think she'd like actually go up there. I think she'd hang tight near the. No, you know what? She would yell up there because she does not feel like these barrel things are a good idea. She is shy, but that looks like a problem that she'd want to say something about.
You're trying to capture his attention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you
Not
can yell.
well. She's probably going like, psst, but it's like very all the way down. Just hears a very tiny little psst.
I think okay. So you're sort of in the middle mast. Ligotti. Ambrosia is
I
going
wanted
to
to climb.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to let Ambrosia socialize and do other stuff. We can talk more later, or we'll talk more at her shop for sure.
Perfect.
I want to climb up the crow's nest. I
Okay.
do want to go up there. I've also noticed the barrels in a different way, and I'm interested to see what is up with them.
The
Phoenix,
introverts.
Phoenix, you're going, psst, psst, hey. And as you see this sea elf look down, you are looking up and you just see the figure of Ligotti go up, like past you.
Oh shit. I think she goes up after.
Oh, okay. We're going to have you guys up here.
She's pretty nimble.
Here we
I'll
go.
hang out.
We'll go left to right. Arrow, Morse, Arrow, you're able to stop Morse for a quick second and just sort of maybe get introductions or what have you. What do you say?
Hey there, friend. You're one of the guests. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. Hello.
I have no issues with it if you don't plan on causing problems. But what's with the get-up?
Oh, no problems at all. I am a firm believer in one can never be too sure. It's always better to be safe than sorry, am I right?
I mean, sure. This is a party. There is
And-
hired hands to be sure everything's safe.
And yet parties are crashed. Not that I'm implying anything per se, of course. I'm merely just trying to be safe for my
Normally
own sake.
parties are crashed by other people. We are on open sea right now.
Yes, and pirates exist. And you never know when one could come aboard and, take the ship hostage and, very much do away with us once no ransom money has been paid. So I choose not to, avail myself to that fate and will fight to the death if I have to. But until that moment arrives, I'd like to be prepared and safe,
Alright, just, hands off the mace. Just for
Oh,
my sake, because if
of course.
anything happens with you, then it comes back to me, and I kind of need the paycheck.
No, of course, please. I do not intend to stand in between you and your paycheck. Believe me when I tell you, I know just how important money is.
Many thanks. You got a name?
Yes, you can call me Morse. And you are?
Aerovene. I'm just one of the security here. Don't mind me.
Arrow. That's nice to meet you. I was gonna say I've never met someone of your complexion before, but as I go ahead and look down to me, I'm not really one to talk now, am I?
Meant to ask, where are you from?
Oh, well, do you want the short or the long?
Depends on how much time you have.
Okay. Well, in short, I'm from the Nine Hells somewhere.
That's not what I was expecting. Pardon?
Well, I mean, the the horns and
Sure, I've
Yeah.
seen tieflings.
Yeah, Nine Hells somewhere. Where exactly though? I'm not 100% sure. But beyond that, DM, I believe we stated that I was from Mosted, correct?
You were from, yeah. If you'd like me to tell the city, I can say.
Can I have you describe Mosted and where I'm from in your sweet, sultry voice?
Sure. Oh, would you like me to say it though? Like describe it and say what it is? Okay, perfect.
Give me the DM, but sweet and sultry. Come on.
You describe where you're from. You are from, or at least Arrow, you were informed that this individual is from Mosted, one of the major continents here on the world of Aduna. It is, and I think it's fairly well known, especially someone of your own stature being out in the seas. You've heard numerous tales of other continents owned by two neighboring powers. About maybe 20 years ago, there was an incident over Mosted that was hard not to recognize. There was sort of a, I think that this was sort of made everyone aware of like what the goings on are happening within Mosted. There was an old power that was attempting to cause some havoc, and there definitely was sort of like this continent-ending threat that was satiated afterwards. But Morris describes where he used to live, or sort of where he's from, as I think it was. Oh my god, I forgot it. I have your. Let me bring up. I have your backstory. Hold on. I want to say Lawnwood.
My gamble paid off. I made him forget my backstory.
You did. This
gotta count for bonus points somehow.
Oh yeah, Lawnwood. Lawnwood, you start, at least what Morris describes to you, is a somewhat medium-sized village or city within a power called the Estivus Domain, which is sort of a northern section of Mosted. Very much heavily appreciates survival and sort of living on one's own. Lawnwood specifically is kind of a religious town. So a lot of churches, a lot of like orphanages, and a lot of like help centers, and a lot of rec centers and places that would help their fellow neighbor.
All right.
And I say that, all of that, what he said, I actually said it.
Mhm.
Okay.
In the same tone and using the exact same wording. But it's coming out.
And the long pause of like, hold on, let me remember my backstory.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, all right. Much further out of town than I would have expected, but welcome, I suppose.
Oh, thank you. So generous. Maybe you might. I believe I've seen you somewhere before.
Probably in passing. You were at that
yes,
lawyer's place?
yes, that was you. Yes, he's a friend of mine. So I'm glad to see that you two have met, and you have, your own things and such.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pull the napkin card out of my pocket and be like, yeah, I'm familiar, and then put it back.
Gave you a napkin.
I figured that was the typical practice.
Oh,
At least I got a card, not a napkin.
Oh god. I'm terribly sorry. He's
Uncaffeinated.
Trying.
no. I was gonna say dumbass, but I didn't want to offend any of my gods, so I just withheld my tongue and just. He means well. Here, and I pull out one of his cards. I'm like, here. He should have given you this. I'm sorry.
No,
He means well.
I'm not precious about such things. Again,
Oh.
I live out here, so
Splendid. Well, if you have, I know someone in a profession like this could always benefit from legal representation. So, if you ever find yourself in any trouble, he's your guy.
You're the best
little-
salesman.
A little rough around the edges, but he's got a great heart, and he's technically the one that helped our host here on the ship win that glorious defense. I don't know if you recall that.
What defense?
Oh, you didn't hear about Mr. Tanner's case?
No, I assume you're not talking about the fish.
Yes, that one, the one and the same. DM, could you fill in the lore here?
Yeah,
what was the case?
It's not that, but I think what you hear is, there was a little bit of a discussion how Morris's host, Joshua Haynes, was able to prevent Francis Turner in going into jail due to a drunken stupor prior to him actually getting any kind of notoriety.
Ah.
I thought he sued the fish.
I was
That
like,
was gonna be the story.
Dun dun.
I thought the fish sued him and he won, but here we are.
Yeah. He had a drunken night. Clearly was guilty, but Haynes was able to weasel the verdict out, and Haynes was able to walk away, or Tanner was able to walk away as a free man.
Yeah, and it's the legal system is just so unjust. Just one small moment of one moment of forgetful. I can't even, I'm so utterly shocked that he gave you a napkin that I can't even formulate sentences right now. We all have lapses of judgment, and of course Mr. Tanner did happen to fall upon one, and through the glorious work of
Morris,
Dr. Haynes.
You look over to the side because where you're having this conversation, Francis Tanner kind of does look over the edge here and is just giving you a stank look.
And that's why I'm here.
While he's looking at you, Morris, and sort of keeping an eye on the ship as well as sort of going, this motherfucker's talking about my past. Diva, you were able to find your way up towards the ship's controls here as he's currently looking at the waves, looking at the how the wind is carrying him in the ship. But you have a moment.
Wait, is he controlling the ship or he's just up there?
He's just up there. He's just sort of moving the wheel back and forth.
Oh, Mr. Tanner, I was going to ask for your arm and take a stroll around the ship, but I see you're busy.
No, of course not. I would be happy to make a stroll here with your lovely presence. Sort of puts a lever down to keep the ship wheel in lock, puts an arm out for you to grab, and
Take
you can
his arm.
definitely have a bit of a stroll around the ship. As you do so, he kind of looks around and goes, have you ever been on a ship such as this?
I can't say. In real life of Diva, I can't say that I have, right?
I don't think you have.
You think I have?
I don't think you have.
I can't say that I have.
Well, then I'm happy to be your first.
It's just I lost my train of thought there. Well, I mean, you are the man of the hour, and I've heard the tales of how you killed that magnificent fish so many times, but it'd be so lovely to hear it from the man himself.
With a bit of really clear alacrity, he kind of jumps on the edge here, grabs onto one of the ropes, swings slightly, and kind of leans over the side of the ship with feet on the edge and goes, "Oh, it was a glorious tale, and I'm happy to tell it again. There I was, on smaller ship of the Torn Chain before we upgraded it, out at weeks upon the open sea, looking for the beast that would kill sailors of all sorts, fishermen, our people, the community's people. But I am a person of the community, and I am there to help out. And so I took it upon myself to find the beast." And starts to describe kind of like an epic tale of the beast coming aboard ship, trying to eat him, and he jumping on its nose, swiping down, dropping down and going into fisticuffs and fighting against it barehanded until finally he was able to get it into almost a headlock, bring it down, and brought it to shore.
Can I do an insight check? Is he telling me
Yeah.
the truth or he's bullshitting me?
Roll me an insight check.
That is going to be a 17.
17. You smell it. You smell bullshit.
I have the fakest shitting grin on, just going,
He drops back down, and that is how I became the hero of Morpier.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you, thank you. And of course, with such a wondrous tale, it's brought me many benefits. Happy to have you in my employ.
This lovely ship, you can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Diva, do you find yourself doing your work? Have you ever thought of an exclusive employment?
I'll answer your question with a question. Isn't Penny your girl?
You're catching the DM
You mean
for
Pepper?
Pepper.
Pepper, sorry.
Pepper.
I was like, I don't know who the hell Penny is.
Is
You know what?
Pepper
I
your
think-
girl?
I think that might also be very good. And he goes, "Who?"
Go on. Go on with your exclusive deal.
Certainly. And he'll sort of take you by the hand again, lead you around, and starts to discuss maybe if you ever wanted to live by the sea, maybe as kind of essentially you would be his personal escort.
I don't make promises while I'm working, so I'll get back to you on that. And I just kind of let him go and walk away. That whole time, I'm still getting that vibe of this guy's full of it.
Yeah, I think the last thing he says as you walk away, like you almost feel like the rejection hitting him hard. And he goes, "Of course, I appreciate your business professionalism." Fuck. And lets you go and sort of stays by the port. Let's go to the top where we have Ligotti climbing up, and then quickly behind,
The two geniuses.
you see what's surrounded by barrels that smell awful. Sitting on one of them is this sea elf individual who's currently has like this little whistle, and at occasion just goes doo, doo, doo. And you see like a bird just land. There it is. Hello. Looks to you two as you come in. Wasn't expecting company.
This just looks like hazardous. I'm not good with the talking. Hi, I'm Phoenix. But why are you dragging a barrel all the way up here?
We have to make the ship presentable, and these certainly have quite a pungent smell.
So you put it at the highest point on this ship, and if we go over a wave, what's gonna happen?
I tied them down.
This just
What's
seems
in them?
Chum. Sort of gets off.
Interesting.
It shows you.
Are
Open
they
it up.
open or are they sealed
Yeah.
barrels?
The one he's sitting on was open that he stopped throwing over, but that's the only one that's open. He sort of opens it up, and you see like a bubbling mass of fish guts.
Smells terrible. Ligotti says that not in a judgmental way, but just observing the fact.
I think this guy doesn't catch that because no one's ever that blunt about chum. And goes, well, I mean, what do you expect? It's chum. But yes. I figured that since the wilds are down there, it'd be best to have it up here.
How many barrels are there?
There's about 3.
There's
one
3,
one that's open and the 2 that are sealed.
Gotcha.
There used to be 4, but that's overboard.
Just feel like chilling the water is a bad idea. Or make it rain.
Like, are they nailed shut, or can Ligotti lift the lid of one of the other barrels?
You can lift the lid of one of the barrels.
Okay, I'm gonna lift the lid of one of the other barrels. Is it
Sure.
more chum?
It's more chum.
I'm gonna move to the
Okay,
side.
I don't know what chum consists of entirely. I'm going to attempt to use shape water to freeze the water in the barrel I am looking at. I don't know how much of it is water, but I want to. That's the point of the experiment.
there's been discussion about shape water and destroying
Yeah.
great water. I will say,
I think it can
Does it make
freeze
ice
stuff
crystals?
within
Does it make frosty chum or something?
yeah,
Or-
I'll say that it'll make frosty chum. I don't think it's at this point. It's not water. It's not drinkable water,
yeah,
so it
okay.
wouldn't affect the spell. But I think you are able to cause a bit of the chum to just sort of somewhat solidify. It's like slush now.
Yeah, I think Ligotti goes fascinating.
It's a gut popsicle now, so well, I guess that's better than before.
Was that the concern?
It's different than before, and that is better.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't get fish guts rained on me and everybody else at the party, so this seemed like a bad idea, but I'm gonna go now since it's slush.
How'd you get your invite, miss?
Oh, I did a favor for Wisa? She thinks I should talk to, and she gestures towards Tanner.
Why?
She thinks I have a similar skill set, but I'm not really sure what that is. It's definitely not talking to people, but
If you're not a bullshit artist, then you don't have any similar skill sets as Tanner.
so he's not part of an order or was?
Order?
That's what she said.
Thing that I ever heard. I've known the guy for a very long time.
I think she just blows and her hair flickers a little bit. Like, this is annoying that she had to come here and do this out of her comfort zone.
I mean, maybe I did leave for a few years, but we never heard of him joining an order.
I mean, that's what she said, unless she's lying. Wouldn't be the first time somebody's lied to me.
Tanner's told many lies. Who knows? Something that she probably heard from him. But you may want to ask him. There's a portion of his life that I was not a part of.
Well, I definitely don't want to be a bullshitter, so thanks. And then she's just kind of bye, I think, to Ligotti, and then goes down the crow's nest.
Yeah, I think Ligotti is done too, but is he saying something?
No, he just kind of looks at you and goes, "Do you want to continue messing with the chum?"
Says, perhaps later. And he puts the top back on, but does it in a way where it's not completely sealed. So it's like a loose top on one of the barrel that he partially froze.
Okay.
And then he goes down. I think climbing down the ladder, he definitely wants to mutter to Phoenix and say, like, incredibly suspicious.
You can have a moment if you two. Yeah, you two go down together.
Does he bear any similar characteristics to my friend that when he wasn't old? Like,
He was always old.
yeah, I know.
You're talking about Ligotti?
Mm-hmm. Would there be a connection that maybe Phoenix would actually want to talk to him versus not?
Probably just the
The
lean towards
abruptness.
the arcane is probably the one connection. Ligotti definitely, as we established, is a bit in the middle-aged side. I mean, probably the oldest person here, other than Jeffrey.
Are him and Morris the same age? I don't know.
Oh,
if
and
it,
Morris,
if
yeah,
a
but
different
it's hard to tell when
talent.
it comes to like
Yeah.
other lineages. Well, they don't show their age as well.
Yeah, Ligotti's weathered, definitely, because he's a
Yeah.
human and spends all his time outdoors in rough places. So.
Yeah, I think that's what you can. Those are the characteristics, and you can put the connections if you want.
Okay. Did you really just go up there to freeze Chum?
Says that was part of it. When something, he like gestures up at the barrels, when something changes like that, when something that should be, he's like trying to find the words, when something that should be low is raised up high, it's worth investigating. It's inevitable that it will come back down. You would agree?
Yeah, not in a good way either.
Exactly. A different way, a change. He's like nodding, like you totally understand.
One I prefer not to have. I don't like fish guts and she points to her hair.
I would advise we do not spend any more time directly under the crow's nest for the remainder of the evening.
Good idea.
All right, that's good for me. I'll walk off in a random direction.
Just
I'll say a few moments pass and the ship finally stops. You sort of feel that the shake of the ship as it sort of finds its place. Jeffrey comes out and goes, thank you all. Hopefully you enjoyed your drinks and the food. And obviously there was like little snacks and little, finger food that was provided to you if you ever wanted to indulge. We are now going to be blessed with the entertainment for tonight. It sort of motions towards you, Diva, as you probably worked with him a little bit. Like it's almost like some small talk of like, this is how you enter. How do you perform for these folks?
Where's David? I tell David, okay, start.
That the music continues for a little bit, and as you start to dance slightly, down the crow's nest, Volred pushes David out of the way, grabs the recorder or the flute, and actually plays you some good music.
Good. I thought I was gonna have to work around that. So like, why didn't you say so? All right. As he starts playing, on the beat, I take my sword and I start spinning it around me. I also start clapping to try to get the crowd to clap with it, like on the beat. So like that, so get the crowd clap. As I spin my sword,
Clapping. Go get the kid tambourine.
As I do a back bend, I take the edge of my sword and I actually slip my hands. And for reasons, I'm going to quickly roll, so I know that. And as I curl back up, I touch my hand with the blood on the sword. And as that happens, the sword lights on fire.
Illuminates. You guys are in, other than the lanterns on the ship that's giving illumination, as well as a little bit of the starlight and moonlight, there's just sort of dark sea water. And pass whatever illumination from the sky down into the sea, this bright colored flare of a sun, or not sun, of fire from the sword, gives a beautiful display. Roll me a performance check with advantage.
Yay for advantage. Super yay for advantage, nat 20.
Nat 20. You found the crescendo with the music that Volred Quinley is playing for you. He is playing the flute that he's taken from David. On occasion, he has his own whistle that he sort of quickly toots off, which both Phoenix and Ligotti you catch as sort of like the sound of birds. This sort of weird chirp, but it's interspliced with the music as it just sort of fills and echoes across the sea. Until finally you come to the end of the performance, and there's a wild applause. The nat 20. You feel quite accomplished of what you were able to do in this ramshackled space of entertainment.
Okay. Bow with my sword. The sword is still technically on fire, but I like put it on my shoulder and like just walk to the bar.
Not even like walking away from an explosion. The crowd is still clapping as you walk past, but you know what? That's not how a performer does it. You need to look.
DM?
Yes.
I'd like to roll an Arcana check because I have some things going off right now.
Yeah. What's
I saw blood magic.
Yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
Is that what you saw?
I rolled a flat 11.
Flat 11. People with magical means, or maybe this is just a simple trick, can utilize magic in certain ways, different ways. You're not entirely sure if this was blood magic. You're like, is it? But you're not 100% sure, or is this just flavor?
Could I ascertain whether this is something that could be more nefarious, this type of magic, or is this like
with an 11? I don't think you know. I think you're not sure if it's just for entertainment purposes, or maybe it is nefarious. You don't know.
I'm gonna keep a more close eye on this other tiefling person.
Okay. We're gonna go into stage 5 after the After the claps have done, Phoenix, who are you going to try to talk to in this stage?
I think she's a little curious, but she's gonna go try and talk to Tanner, but she fully thinks this man's gonna tell her a lie after her conversation.
Okay. So Morse, are you gonna follow Diva into the bar?
Oh yeah, I have some questions.
All right. And then let's see. I think this will be our last thing, and then we'll call it a session. Ligotti, is there anyone you want to talk to?
Well, I was also fascinated by blood being turned into fire. So I also have questions. So I will go, but for much more enthusiastic reasons. I thought that was great.
Arrow.
I think I'm gonna hang out mostly on deck still. Not super chatty with anyone in particular, though I might try to whistle to get Bullrad's attention to be like, nice, well played.
Roll me perception check, Arrow.
Oh. 12.
Okay. You start almost like encouraging, like, that was really cool. Bullrad goes, certainly was a concern when it came down to cutting herself, but hey, it turned out to an amazing performance.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was the only one who saw that, or if there was just my eyes playing tricks on me.
No, it was not playing tricks with you, lad. It was on me as well.
I'll try not to question these things.
Yeah. Well, looks around, looks at the stars and seeing some of the clouds. We might get a small drizzle. So, let's see. From the way it's coming, I would recommend maybe getting to port or the temple. What is it called again? The not the ass. What is it?
The aft?
The aft.
The
The
ass
aft.
of the ship.
Stern.
So I think he just says you might want to get to the aft. I'm gonna go back to the crow's nest.
You're gonna have to
Oh.
learn ship directions.
We're gonna have these two in here. These two are gonna go over here.
Does he expect me to helm?
No, he's just like, just look around, just keep an eye out and everything.
Okay, I'll do that.
Ambrosia's right behind you, Phoenix, but is not as fast as you are. So you can definitely have the first conversation as Tanner sort of makes it port and kind of leans over the side and goes,
Phoenix does not start conversations, but she's gonna try.
he just looks out, he's not paying attention, he goes, magnificent. Absolute magnificent. Kind of looks and sees you approach. Kind of hard not to see you. Are you enjoying yourself?
I mean, that was a wonderful performance, I think. I have questions about a few other things, but that's fine.
Oh, well, if you have questions, I have answers.
Lisa sent me here on her behalf. She thinks I should talk to you. Apparently.
About what, per se?
She made mention that you were part of an order, I guess, some time ago. And I'm rolling an insight check on this BS when he gives his answer.
Right. The Order of the Sharpened Palm. You can roll me an insight check if you want.
Of the sharpened palm.
Palm. Palm of a hand.
Hold on, I'm writing a note. I'm not gonna put that face in a butthole. That's not bad. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. From his face and how he's sort of responding to you, sort of, it didn't seem more of a lie, and it seemed more of like, what was it again? And almost like, if he was involved with this order, it probably wasn't for a very long time. Or it probably wasn't he wasn't involved. But knows of an order.
Were you just there for like a little bit of time, or did you actually...
Of course not. I trained heavily underneath them. Strict leadership.
Where do they reside, if you don't mind me asking?
They're found at the sword's tip.
Do I know where that is?
You don't. But quick, easy look at a map. You can see where that's a mountaintop.
Do they just take you in, or do you have to, I
Oh,
guess, show you what you got?
Well, the leadership that I was under, you certainly had to make a donation to get in, but I'm sure that's changed.
Seems weird that an order would ask you to make a donation.
Well, if you're struggling for money,
She like cocks her head like, what the hell's that supposed to mean? You know what? Thank you for your time. And
Of
she just
course.
walks off.
as you walk off, you see sort of the darker-skinned individual sort of walk right past you and goes, Mr. Tanner, I wanted to talk to you about the red bar bones that you have up in the tavern. And they start to have a discussion. You start to make your way out.
I think Phoenix realizes like she can't leave because we're out in open water, so she's gonna go try and talk to Volred again because he's the only one that kind of matches her energy.
Okay. I'll say you stop here. There's a moment where Francis Turner, his attention is taken as well. Kind of moves out, but the twins, they want to have a discussion. Morse, Diva, and Ligotti, we're going to have you guys finish this off, but Diva, you make yourself to the bar, followed immediately by David and Gregory, who go, that was amazing performance. Incredible.
I'm like, thank you. Shots all around. Bring out a bottle.
Can do. I'll do that. I'll say David sort of runs out and starts to give out drinks to everyone that he can. And then followed behind you is Morris and Ligotti.
I'll take a seat right next to her, but I won't really make much eye contact or say anything.
I just noticed this man who completely suited up in armor, and I'm just like, where's the war?
I respond without actually looking at her. This is an impressive display.
Why, thank you. Aren't I a beauty?
I'm curious, where did you learn of such tricks? Where did you learn of such talents? There's something there. Those were techniques I've never seen before.
I kind of look at him, just like, what's your deal?
And then you see
I have
Ligotti
lots-
leaning.
Yeah.
Like, I have lots of techniques. Would you like to see them?
None are as interesting as the ones you've demonstrated today, I suppose. I'd love to learn more about
Oof.
that.
50 gold, I'll show you more.
I think you must have me mistaken here. I'm more curious about those tricks you were doing up on the deck. You know, that splashy flash of blood. My tone starts getting a little bit more serious. Tell me, where'd you learn something like that?
Tell me, do you know about our Lord and Savior Rakdos?
DM, I'd like to roll a history check if I have ever heard the name.
You can roll history or religion.
Okay.
You're like the weirdest, like Mormon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the wildest comeback.
Also, I like the fact like tricks. Yes, I do. I do charge.
It's like, I'm gonna charge you either way.
I'll roll a. I mean, religion or history. I don't have proficiency with either, so it's going to be a flat roll regardless. It'll be a 15.
You don't have to share everything, Diva, but what do you think? And because again, I'm going to defer to most of you guys because you know a lot more than I do about Rakdos. I know.
This is
The
deep.
line.
irony is, I know more about it than
Yeah.
anyone else.
But I will let Diva. You can, with sort of that inquiry, you can share a little bit more since this person looks interested.
So, I just turned to him. I grabbed his hand. I'm like, Within the pain, you find the doses of pleasure. And from that, you find the power to do many things. And I kind of like take my sword and I kind of just prick him with it. See if he responds.
I yank back my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realize, oh, you're but a mere blood witch.
You think you know something, but you don't know anything.
Okay.
And I go back to my drink.
I'm gonna say you're not what I'm looking for. And I'm gonna get up and walk away.
Ligotti, you have inquiries as now you see that.
Yeah,
there's-
I also rolled a history check at the same time while I was eavesdropping. I got a 17. So I think I'm familiar in the same way, probably. I think, is there a lantern or something that has fire in here?
Yeah, there are lanterns here and here. And by the way, Morris, I'm going to say you go outside, just get some air. I'm going to put you right here.
Yeah, the closest lantern, like Ligotti sits down and leans in, and the closest lantern, he turns blood red with control flames and makes the... Does he know the Rakdos symbol with a 17?
I would say so.
Okay, then he turns the closest lantern blood red and makes the Rakdos symbol appear in it. And I think he puts his hand on the bar and says, I'm very interested in learning more about how you turn blood to fire.
I just kind of look at him amazed. He's all like, my dear sir. How much do I want to actually tell you? It's honestly just a simple trick. I pull power from I pull my magic from my blood. I can turn it with flames. I can hit things with it with flames. I'm a circus performer. I learned it on the around the way. We used to have a troupe in Menhelm, right?
Yes, Manhelm.
We used to have a troupe in Menhelm.
Can you feel the fire in your blood right now?
Yes.
Fascinating. Could you turn someone else's blood to fire?
Nah, the magic doesn't quite work that way.
Disappointing.
I mean, I could turn men's blood into fire in other ways.
Got 50 gold on
I'm
you?
mostly interested in literally, but I think we can. I think Ligotti's going to ask questions as long as she'll entertain it, but we don't have to stay with, with the conversation.
I'll say that the stuffy air here, but it's nice to at least have a conversation. I'll say that eventually, after some discussion here, there is a bit of a chatter happening upstairs that maybe captures some of your attention. You can still have your conversation, but it's almost like, well, let's make our way this way because what's happening. I will place you guys here. Phoenix, I know you're sort of leaning against the post where the mast is.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one. Don't,
not
don't be there.
Not the one with the.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Which one is the bad one?
We'll say the bad one's right here.
Okay.
You see David giving sort of some of the drinks here. Hands you all one, goes back to sort of his boss, Tanner. And you can all hear a bit of chatter as the Wilds and Tanner sort of clink their glasses, and he goes, "Big announcement, everyone. We are opening a second Red Maw, thanks to our friends here, the Wilds," and starts to give a small golf clap, tries to get you guys involved. I want to thank everyone here to provide to the fact that you've all mirrored the level of highbrow entertainment, as well as how well a host I am, to prove to our friends here, the Wilds, that we can always bring in the customers and provide a well enjoyable atmosphere. Kind of jumps here and goes, sort of grabbing almost like a pirate, going, "This is dedicated to all of you." Gives a bow. I would like everyone here to make me dex saves.
Ooh.
That can't be good.
That's lovely. What do you mean? I'm good at those, but I'm
So,
so bad at rolling.
We're gonna go down the row here. Who got a 12 or higher? Raise hands. All right, so that means Morse and Arrow, which makes sense because you're sort of near the arse. I don't know, ass of the ship. The ship jerks.
You're just doing this on
Violently.
purpose now.
You hear the crunch of wood. The ship almost lurches about like 5 degrees to the left.
That can't be good.
It really was made out of balsam.
You... First of all, the ship immediately starts taking on water as you all see this bulbous looking like bubble in the water, like that's displacing something. A red skull with yellow eyes can be seen lurching up from the water with these large meaty hands, grabs in a wide berth, grabbing both Francis, Terrence, Paula, and David, and brought underwater. The mast of the ship goes starts to fall. I'm gonna put Arrow and Morse. You guys are prone right now because you failed the deck save. I would like Phoenix, Ligotti, and Diva make me perception checks. I'll say right now the DC is going to be like a 16.
I hit a 16.
I missed it by one, I think. Oh, wait. Let me double check. Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's only a 15.
Diva's the only one. Diva, you grab onto the side. Ligotti, you are fearful. You're near the edge. You see that their hole is like right next to your foot now. So now you're like, where do I go? The ship is almost towards the butt. It's starting to go this way, starting to take up water. You see water coming from under deck. You can only get a sense that Gregory, who is down there, is probably drowning or maybe taken under. Diva, you look up as the sound of the wood cracking can catch your eye, and you see Quinley, Volred Quinley, start to hold onto the side, going into the water. There's the splash of him, or no, the splash of the mast, as well as the several barrels, with a cloud of blue smoke. Volred does not hit the water and is gone from view.
Huh.
I was right about those barrels, though.
And the last thing you all see, as Francis Turner giving the final bits of his speech, the investors, him, and some of the staff are all taken, is once again the glow of yellow eyes upon a red skull off in the distance. And I will show you for a brief moment before it heads back underwater. The red maw. It is going to go. It is going to go. You can take a look at it for a brief moment as it heads out. It's these large, almost humanoid-like arms that are large and beefy in this turquoise body. Several fins. It's got a big, giant belly and a gaping mouth. And above it, on its nose, is this red skull with almost like these tentacle-like arms.
I think Diva's response is that's the red maw, just because the only thing she knows of it is the skull that's at the bar.
This skull is way larger.
Oh,
Nope.
I had baby.
And it goes right underwater, and that's where we're going to end today's session.
Lovely.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
We're all gonna
We'll
drown.
see. The ship is currently taking on water. Environment and placement where you guys are going at. I will definitely tell you right now that the back of the ship is going down first.
You don't want to be near the ass.
You don't want to be near the ass?
Generally.
Which is sad because both Morris and Arrow are the ones who are prone right now. But yes. All that being said, and you are 100, almost like yards, like you're far, far away from the shore. So kind of hard to get away. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next session. Bye.